I'm getting just war flashbacks from the Nunes finish.
Imagine betting $315,000 or whatever the guy bet and then losing.
Rest in pieces. You know what? It's one of the greatest upsets in UFC history. And
that's very true. That is very true.
We were absolutely killing it that night. Our predictions were spot on.
Yeah. The greatest point of the night was when Gordon turned to me and said, if no crazy wins or knockouts come, I will win a whole lot of money. And then the main card happened.
There were 4 fights left. And I was like, hey, if no one scores above 120 points, I will get a takedown in this contest.
Yep.
And Kai Kara France goes out there and knocks down Cody Garbrandt. Wow, you really make me think about that all again. Shame on you. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Plays and Fades YouTube channel. I'm your host, Gordo Gamble. Sorry. I'm your co-host, Gordo Gamble, joined by this beauty of a man here, Kieran. And we're back for another slate of UFC action, the last one of the entire year. And it's actually a pretty good one. How are we feeling after what was an insane last pay-per-view of the year?
Yeah, I mean, that pay-per-view was everything we could have asked for it to have been in terms of being a fan of the UFC. I mean, that was crazy upsets, Nunes losing, all sorts of stuff happened on that card, and it was an exciting time. In that sense, it was fantastic. In terms of our DFS picks, we did pretty well too. So can't really complain about that week. But yeah, a little bit sad moving into the very last UFC card of the year. Obviously not a pay-per-view, not the same hype, but another Vegas fight night, and we're excited for this one. Derek Lewis, another fan favorite of a UFC fighter, definitely in our circles, we like him a lot. So main event should still be entertaining given that it's Derek Lewis.
Maybe next time we do the contest, it'll be $50 to give away, just because I'm so grateful for you guys. A huge shout out to everyone who joined. It was a lot of fun, and I just inched it out by I think 0.5 points or something like that. It was absolutely wild. Can't wait to do it again. But no, wait, we have a beautiful card ahead of us. Let's get right into it. Main event, like you mentioned, Derek Lewis, the Black Beast, a fan favorite of ours. My balls are hot, all of that. It's facing a guy in Chris Daukaus, a guy who hasn't really had his biggest tests in the UFC, but when he has had them, he's done pretty well, coming off a knockout win. How do we think this one goes?
Yeah, in this main event, I mean, obviously with Derek Lewis, we know what Derek Lewis is. He is Derek Lewis, and that's about all you could say. I mean, not a very technical fighter, not a guy who's gonna put together crazy combinations, but his power is almost completely unmatched in the UFC. He has the ability to finish a fight at any given moment in any round. We know that. We've seen that in plenty of fights. He's gotten KOs at a bunch of different points in fights. And obviously he's fighting a guy who has a lot less power, but is a lot more technical, has better output. But Daukaus has never had this kind of competition before. He's been fighting lower level heavyweight fighters. And if there's one thing we know about the UFC, it's that low level heavyweight fighters are not always the greatest fighters compared to the other divisions, lower levels. So obviously a huge step up in competition. But in terms of ownership, we kind of like both sides of this fight a little bit, because obviously Derek Lewis can finish this fight at any time, get those huge points with that knockout. But at the same time, if Daukaus is scared and stays away for a lot of the fight, he could be the one putting up the points just by having a lot higher of output than Lewis does, and by staying away. I lean a little bit more Derek Lewis on this one, but I think in terms of ownership, we're going to be pretty split down the middle.
Yeah, completely agree. It's going to be a pretty good fight, and of course we got to cheer for the Black Beast, but we are completely aware of the hand speed, the accuracy, and the volume that Chris Daukaus has shown at those lower levels. So if he's able to translate that in this fight, he can also score very well. But the co-main is one who we also want to have a big part in as well. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson against Bilal. Remember the name Muhammad. And I'm on the favorite here. I'm a big fan of Wonderboy. You know that. I think his striking is unmatched. And Muhammad's one of those guys who's good everywhere, but doesn't excel at a single thing, really. Cardio, sure, but it's not something that really is going to win him the fight. When he's come up against big power punchers, he's struggled. And for that reason, I'm taking Stephen Wonderboy Thompson to win this fight by knockout. Insane accuracy, insane powerful kicks. We know how good he is, and I think this is a really big step up for Muhammad here. I'm taking Stephen Wonderboy Thompson at 9.1K. All right, let's move on to our core plays of the day. First up, an underdog for you guys. Darren Elkins, 7.4K. Tell us a bit more about him.
Yeah, Darren Elkins is a guy who really just lives up to his nickname, right? I mean, Darren the Damage Elkins is what they call him, and for good reason. This guy's an absolute dog, and we think he's going overlooked a little bit at the $7,400 price tag. I mean, he's going up against a guy in Cub Swanson who's a little bit older. We know he's a vet, and he's had some good wins in his career, but we think that Elkins, in terms of output and just being able to overwhelm Cub Swanson, will be able to do it probably in this fight, and that's good value at $7,400. I mean, we definitely think he has the advantage on the ground, and Cub maybe has the advantage on the feet a little bit, but the output of Elkins will be quite good. He's won his last couple of fights, and we think that he could definitely come in here and get this upset against Cub. So for $7,400, that's good value here.
Yep, I think that he sticks to Cub Swanson like glue and drowns him in deep waters, and that can score very, very well. But another favorite we're liking up top, a core play of ours, is going to be Ricky Simón, sitting at a price tag of 9.2K. If you know me, you know I love my wrestling specialist. Ricky Simón is the definition of that. He gets takedown after takedown after takedown, and I love him for that. Facing a guy in a Sunsao who hasn't fought in a while, coming off that loss, Cody Garbrandt. And I just think Ricky Simón's able to get takedowns and accumulate a lot of points because of that. Control time, takedowns, going to add up. I think he's a great option at 9.2K. All right, moving right along to a fight we want to target as a whole. We're liking this Tafa Hunsucker fight. Tell us a bit more about that one.
Yeah, this fight is definitely one that we like both sides of to some extent. Obviously, there's a reason that Tafa is up here at $9,400, huge price tag, and we think that definitely makes sense. Obviously, he has more of a chance to win this fight than Hunsucker does, but the reason that we want to target this fight as a whole, and we like both sides, is because we expect this fight to finish in the first round or two. I mean, we know that Hunsucker survives and basically is live for the first 3 minutes of a fight a lot of the time, and then after that, any damage that he takes could be a knockout. But Tafa is not the most durable person either, so we definitely think this could finish one way or the other quite early, and that's why we like both sides. Obviously, our ownership is going to be farther towards Justin Tafa than it is going to be towards Hunsucker, but if you want somebody really cheap in your lineups, maybe get a few more favorites in than normally you'd be able to, we think Hunsucker definitely has some value here too. $6,800 is a huge steal, especially if he gets a knockout in the first round or two. He'll definitely be part of optimal lineups. So we're going to have some ownership on both sides of this fight.
Yeah, Hunsucker's one of those guys who's either going to score 120 or 0. Probably more likely towards the 0 side. But if you want to throw that GPP Hail Mary lineup in, he's going to be in it. All right, with that, we're going to need another underdog for you guys. We're looking towards someone like Macy Chiasson, price tag of 7.8K. She's facing Raquel Pennington. We know Raquel Pennington, one of the better fighters in the division, has been for a very, very long time. She likes to bully people in the clinch and use her side to her advantage. Lots of clinch work, push people up against the cage. The problem I have with this one is she's facing someone in Macy Chiasson who's just a bigger girl. And when you have someone with the reach advantage, the height advantage, the size advantage of Macy Chiasson, who also has really good boxing chops as well, I just think that Macy Chiasson has more of a chance than 7.8K does entail. I think that if she's able to survive the clinch work of Pennington, I mean, she's shown to do a little bit better in her past fights. I think she can be really, really live in the spot because she has a striking advantage, has a reach advantage, and I don't think she's going to be bullied in the clinch as much as people are expecting her to, and for that reason, I'm liking some of Macy at 7.8K. All right, with that though, another favorite we're liking this week, I mean, we have to look up into those $9,000, and there's a lot of people we like, but we're liking a little bit of GM3 this week. Gerald Meershaw at $9,000. Tell us a bit more about him.
Yeah, the Meershaw here at $9,000 is another one of these big price tags, but we think that he's definitely somebody that deserves this price tag. His last 2 fights out, he's put up over 100 points, which is obviously pretty good. 102 points and 101 points. 3 fights ago, obviously, was that loss to Chimaev, but since then, he's been on a heater, and we expect that to continue through this fight. If this goes to the ground at all, I mean, Meershaw is an absolute killer down there, and we expect him to be able to finish Stolfus.
Right below him, though, at the top of the slate, Charles Jourdain, our Canadian boy, 8.9K, facing guy Andre Ewell, who, if you guys know me for a while, I've been fading this guy, and it's worked out pretty well. I just think Charles Jourdain is a guy with a lot of finishing potential. Yes, he got caught in that very nice Darce choke last time out against Julian Erosa, but this is a step down in competition. I think Charles Jourdain is better everywhere. I think he's more energetic, more dynamic fighter. I think he goes out there and scores very, very well as well.
Moving to somebody at the middle of the price range, right at the middle actually, we like a lot Jordan Levitt this week. He is known as the Monkey King, and we expect him to do... Oh, no, I'm not going to even say that. That was stupid.
Dude, he's named the Monkey King, and we expect him to Donkey Kong this guy's ass.
Somebody that we absolutely don't like this week, Sales, who is going to get twerked on. So, Jordan the Monkey King Levitt is a guy we like a lot in this spot this week at $8,200. He's right in the middle of that price range, but we think maybe he should be a bit more of a favorite this week. I mean, he's fighting a guy in Sales who's coming off not only a 2-year layoff in competition, but also who's moving up a weight class and fighting a guy who has absolutely fantastic wrestling, and Sales is not exactly the best defensive grappler once he's down there, and that is something that the Monkey King can take advantage of. We expect to see some hard celebrations here.
All right, and that's going to do it for us on this final slate of the year for UFC. Couple more names to go over. I think Amanda Lemos is going to be really, really live to finish Hill here. The problem is Hill's a very durable fighter, so I don't know if I want to pay 9.4K when I can get someone in Tafa whose win condition is also an early finish. So she's definitely live at top at 9.5K. Really, really like Ronnie Barcelos as well, 9.3K against Hunter Henry, who's just an absolute animal. If you want to watch Tate, he's really fun to watch. But other than that, I mean, we summed up a lot of the names. That Gamrot Ferreira fight is going to be an absolute barn burner, but I don't know what side I want to be on for that one, so I'm going to stay out of it. As for other dogs we like, I think Gatto has a chance if Eubanks asses out. And that's going to be it for us. Thank you guys for tuning in. As always, like I mentioned at the start of this card, I'll be doing another giveaway at the start of the year. So make sure you guys are following my Twitter and subscribe to the YouTube page as well. You can check us out on Twitter at GamblesGordo, at PlaysFades. And yeah, if you have any questions, let us know.
There's a huge layoff in UFC as of after this weekend. So if you're going to play some UFC DFS, now is the time to play it before that holiday break. And it'll be a while until you can do it again. So make sure to get your lineups in this week. And yeah, see those lineups that Gordon's putting out on Saturday.
Let's end this slate with an absolute bang. Appreciate all you guys for tuning in. Make sure to hit the like button and let's make some money.